Is your DCT shifting erratically all of a sudden? Just not as smooth as it once was? I might be able to help you with that.
This video is sponsored by Cruiseman's Garage Honda Goldwing Maintenance Video Series.
The dual clutch transmission on your Honda Goldwing is really an amazing piece of technology. I don't know if I'd ever own another motorcycle without a DCT given the choice. This is my second Honda Goldwing with a DCT and I absolutely love it. However, from time to time it might be necessary to reset or reinitialize the DCT just to make sure it's shifting properly. Today we're going to borrow one of the videos from my 2018 plus Honda Goldwing maintenance video series to show you how to initialize the DCT. You may be wondering, why is it necessary to run this initialization procedure and when should it be done? Your DCT shifts are controlled by the Goldwing computer system, and the computer actually attempts to learn your riding style and adjust the shifting of the DCT accordingly. There are some other factors that the computer is taking into consideration as well. So let's say you need to accelerate rapidly to avoid a collision, or maybe you're merging from a highway entrance ramp. The DCT remembers that action and it may adjust future shift points accordingly. Later on, under normal riding conditions, you may notice your DCT remains in first or second gear longer than normal before shifting. You think, that's kind of strange. Now, in most cases, your DCT will automatically relearn and fix itself so that the shift points will return to normal condition. There are times when your DCT can get a little confused and you may notice persistently erratic shifts. If that's the case, you can basically wipe the DCT memory clean and let it start over the learning process. We call this initializing the DCT. Also, if you've switched from regular to synthetic motor oil or the other way around, it might be a good idea to run this initialization procedure. Initializing the DCT does not harm the engine, so you can do this as often as you feel necessary. Personally, I like to do it after every oil change. It's a simple procedure. It only takes a few minutes. There are some specific steps involved in this process, and that's why I created a simple DCT initialization checklist that you can print out and keep on your motorcycle. I'll put a link in the description of this video to a form where you can request this free PDF. So let's get started. By the way, the initialization procedure is the same if you own an Africa Twin DCT. Your Honda Goldwing engine must be at full operating temperature to perform the initialization. If you look at the temperature gauge on your dash, you should have at least 3 bars showing. You can start the engine, let it warm up to temperature, or you could just go for a short ride. It is very important that your motorcycle be at full operating temperature. If you're doing this on a center stand with the engine running, you'll notice the rear wheel will be spinning even if the bike's in neutral. So you want to make sure you stop that rear wheel by fully engaging the parking brake. Better yet, take the bike off the center stand and sit on the bike in an upright position. You just want to make sure that the rear wheel is not moving. So even if you're sitting on the bike, it might be a good idea to use the parking brake. Once the engine's at operating temperature, turn off the motorcycle. Next, we're going to turn on the ignition while simultaneously holding down the D switch on the right hand control unit. Now you want to continue to hold the D switch in even after you've turned on the ignition. And in a few seconds, you will notice the mill lamp will illuminate on the dash. Some refer to this as the check engine light. You want to wait until that light goes out before you release the D switch. The next step will be to press the drive and the neutral switch in a specific order. This instructs the computer to initialize the transmission. The correct sequence is as follows: drive, drive, neutral, drive, neutral. After you've entered that code, start the motorcycle and let it idle. Do not touch the throttle from this point forward. If you turn your attention to the dash, you'll see an emblem flashing next to the D emblem. This should be flashing about every 2 seconds. Now for a few moments, you're going to hear some noises in the transmission. That's the sound of the transmission shifting through the various gears and reprogramming itself, and it's perfectly normal. Now you just want to let this initialization procedure run as long as it takes, and I'm doing this one in real time so you can kind of see how long it took on my transmission. The process is complete when you see the neutral indicator and the tour mode show up on the dash. When the neutral and tour indicators are on the dash, the process is complete. You can now turn off your Goldwing. There is one common error that can occasionally occur. If you notice the little emblem on the dash flashing too rapidly, remember it should flash about every 2 seconds. But if it starts flashing rapidly like I'm showing you right now, about every second, that's typically an indication that your rear wheel has been spinning or it's not immobilized. In this case, you may need to start the initialization procedure from the beginning. Now, let's restart the Goldwing and make sure everything's working. After restarting, if you see the neutral light and the tour mode indicator on the dash, you're good to go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. That really does help my channel grow. Check out my other videos on YouTube like this one on the Honda Goldwing emergency start procedure.